Hey, fellow Riblets, I'm so sorry. I'll be honest with you, I forgot all about going live today. I was thinking more for tomorrow, but I must have set it for today instead. So I hope everybody's doing well. Um, and again, I am terribly sorry about being late. So I'm glad if anybody has come, I'm glad you guys have come. Uh, I see that I got quite a few people here. Just lost track of time. I actually went down, and I was going to fast this week, but I just didn't really have the oomph to do that. So I ended up having some roast beef uh, at the pizza place. So I'm glad you guys are here. I thank you for coming. Um, you know, I guess I lost some of my oomph too. Just certain things are going on. I'm trying to actually get better speed on my internet, because one thing I notice is my internet keeps on, like, buffering. So I was trying to get like a find out from the company, that I actually get my do my internet from. I was trying to see if I can upgrade, and I thought I was just doing the basic package, but according to them, I had the top package already. I had the top speed that I'm allowed, that my area is allowed. So I was like, well, that's kind of sad because I keep on buffering out, and I should not be buffering out as much as I am. So I don't know. I got to figure something out because I want to make sure that you guys don't buff that you guys don't get cut out on me and stuff. So I see we got quite a few people in the chats. Let me see. Um, Hello, Lizzie. How you doing? Don, how you doing? Of course, Sandy, as always. Hi, Terry Sue. So hello, Terry Sue. Amy, Rockin' Keto Amy, hello. In case you're wondering, I'm scrolling backwards. Okay, so we got quite a few here, which is always a good thing, you know. So so now I do have to make I do well, I don't have to make a confession, but I'm going to make a confession. Um, as you guys know, I have a really bad cough. I think that's one thing that we know about me, definitely. And every once in a while, I have to admit, I do have cough drops. I know it's not really good for carnivore, but it it helps me with my throat. I don't have them all the time, but just when I have really really bad coughs. Well, that being said, I had a cough drop yesterday, and I also have um, a bad habit of, which is why I don't really have hard candy too often, of actually, it's like a automatic response, like it's like a jerk reaction, and it's never done anything, it's never bothered. And cough drops are hard, but they're not that hard. And uh, unfortunately, I guess this one cough drop was a little hard, and I ended up chipping my back tooth, the last tooth on the bottom here, right here, and so I think I might have to go. Now, I haven't been to a dentist in years, and uh, I really don't have the money to pay for, like, you know any kind of dental work. So I'm gonna have to call tomorrow after work. I'm gonna have to call the clinic that I go to and see if they usually have. I think they usually do dental, but it's like students can do that. That might be a lot cheaper um, than going to a regular dentist. But you know, the only problem is it's like such a sharp edge, And every time I cough, for some reason, my tongue scrapes right across it. So, so it's something I'm dealing with, and I've been coughing heavy coughs, as you guys know, very, very a lot lately. But, one of the things I noticed is when I was on Mitch's channel today, I was trying, like with my coughing, I was trying to mute, and it kept on like cutting out on me and freezing while I was on Mitch's channel. And I realized that, like I also had the problem with Erin yesterday or the other day where she kept on like cutting out and stuff like that. And I'm just like thinking like, okay, I got a new computer, so it really shouldn't be the computer. So I'm thinking like this whole time, maybe I just need better internet speed. And so when I called the company that I use for internet, uh, they're like, oh, well, you're already at the top level now. I'm like, what do you mean I'm at the top level? And they said, well, you have 1 gig of internet speed. I'm like, well, first off, that's all like you guys can't go higher. Like if I'm willing to pay for it, you guys can't go to 2 gigs and no, 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 in your area, we're only allowed to do 1 gig. That doesn't make any sense. So, um, yeah, I mean, I know ideally you're supposed to suck on them, Sandy, but like I said, I think there's actually a name to it. It's like a jerk reaction that I just have. I've always had it when I was, you know, like most of my candies were never hard candies. So, and like I said, I rarely do it. But the one time I do, like if I have one, it's like maybe once every couple of weeks or something like that. It depends on how bad and lately my coughs have just been very, very bad. I obviously have something going on, and stubborn. Like I just don't want to. My primary doesn't want to see me till I'm due to see him or her, and I guess I'm just waiting until the primary doctor. Oh, well, obviously we got we we got it fixed. The guy, one of the neighbors, actually helped me figured out the handle a lot better. It actually had more contraptions to it than I figured, and he was able to just and fix it right away. So thank goodness for him. He didn't charge me anything for it. And the problem downstairs. So we got our water back on even that day, that night. So we weren't without water for very long, and which is good. And downstairs, the only damage they had were the ceiling tiles, and no one's bugging me about paying for them. So, I mean, I'm getting some teasing, but that's about it. Hey, Bill, how you doing? So knock on wood, and everything's good. Now there was another situation, but this wasn't actually for me, except that my neighbor on this side of me, on this side, actually has had a leak for his air conditioner, and that caused a leak in the office of the laundromat. So, I guess there's problems with leaks. You know, so what are you gonna do? So I found out. I don't know how. I don't know if she actually watches or anything like that, but I got a text. Yeah, well, I mean, it was pretty stressful there, Sandy. Um, we're just trying. I guess I guess in a way, I just like things to be a certain way, and I don't like to be worrying about is this going to affect this, going to affect that. I like things to be, you know, I think I've always been that way, and I don't like the chaos, you know, and certain things are happening right now that are just very chaotic. And the bathroom situation was probably pretty chaotic, you know. I like to set time for everything, and I realize that things do go off plan, off kilter. But like like my boss at work, I'll give you an example. My boss at work, he's a very nice guy and everything, and he's just going through, you know, like people call out sick, they do this, and he called me and asked me to come into work. Well, I don't like to say no. Like sometimes I know I have to, and I have no choice, but I really don't like to say no. And but the thing is when I have my schedule, right? Now last week we were lucky because I only had on schedule for 4 hours, but you know, and I'm allowed 16, so he had about 12 hours of leeway, and I get that. But the thing is normally I'm supposed to work from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. So anytime other than that, I plan other things like what we're doing right now. I plan my lives. I plan my, you know, like what Zoom calls I go on. I plan my walks around the trail. Everything I do, I plan around that. And so, like any lives I do, I now don't schedule until after 11 o'clock because I'm scheduled until 10 a.m. at work. So this way, I'm not the two aren't interfering together. There's like a certain control there, and I always try to give a little leeway too. So when they keep on calling me for that, it becomes very, very stressful to me. You know, hey Danny, how you doing? Um, you know, so I get a little agitated because it's just I just get very, very, you know. So, but what was I saying? So, see, this is old age hitting me, I guess. Hmm. So I figure, you know, today when I was on Mitch, I noticed I was going in and out, and I seem to be doing pretty well right now. Um, so I don't know. It just, I mean, you know, I was going to actually leave, but then I had a hard time saying I was going to leave. Finally, I just pushed myself through and everything. But there were a couple times I did try to talk, um, you know, say something with Mitch. So I guess I could say it on here. Nothing big, nothing bad. It's just Tuca not meaning to a couple times overpowered and kind of like looked like a bulldozer rolled right over. But I still, you know, Tuca's a great guy, and he just I don't think he realized that he was, you know, because he would talk like a little bit right after me. So you know, but you know, they're talking about coffee. Well, this is how I do my coffee. Okay, so I either have it black, but lately I got myself. I don't have the cups with me now, but I'll make myself a small cup. If I make it myself, or if I get downstairs. If I get downstairs and come upstairs with it, I will get a small, like 8 ounce cup of coffee. I make that, and I actually got coffee from Alia. She actually got me coffee when we were in Boston, um, from Colombia, which was really nice of her. And so I make myself a cup of that, and then I take a half a stick to a full stick of butter, depending on how much fat I want, and I break it up, and I pour the coffee from the little cup into, you know, that big ceramic cup I have that has money on it, the big money cup. Well, that's a little bit bigger, so I need it to be a little bit bigger. So I take that, I pour the coffee into that, and I put the butter in it, and then I take this hand blender that, you know, and you just put it in, and I just take that and I blend it, and it comes out nice and frothy, and it's delicious. You know, the only I mean, it's almost like a latte. You know, the only thing missing is like some whipped cream and cinnamon. You know? So so it's pretty good. And I was going to mention that on with Mitch, and unfortunately, I just wasn't able to. So, and somebody put in the comments, Claudia mentioned her daughter thinks I look like Adam Sandler. So I don't know if you guys agree with that, but okay, there's worse things to look like, you know. And Sandy's in the chat saying hi to everybody, which is cool. And here's Rick, the Rickmeister, Duckmeister. How we doing? You got powerful thunderstorms there? Oh God. So let me just. Your power's out, basically, Rick. How is Milton taking all that darkness and everything? Is he like, oh? Of course. Just when you need him the most, right? It's back on for now. Okay. So it's kind of like going in and out. Yeah, gotta make sure you get those roof leaks and everything. Yeah, my mom's friend's dog used to, which was part Great Dane and part Labrador Retriever. He used to be afraid of thunderstorms, and he would actually like go behind the couch and like move the couch like about 10 feet so you could fit with everything on the couch. By the way, so you pretty much said goodnight to Danny, but Danny was gone. Wow. Okay. Oh, I remember what I was going to say. So I was on Facebook and I got a message from my stepmom. Now I actually had two messages from her. One ended up being a scam. So the first one was a scam and everything like that. And she asked me questions that I just asked me like, do I know, that I hear about the certain grants and all that. And I talk to her, but I don't talk to her that often. Usually our conversations is like, oh, did you have a good Christmas? How you doing? I mentioned my diabetes, mentioned just different things. Hey, carnivore, how you doing, Charlie? And oh, that sounds good. Some bacon on the Blackstone. And it's just things that you just knew, and so I figured I found my real stepmom, and I was like, did you contact me yesterday about anything? And she's like, no, we haven't talked since like Christmas. I'm like, okay. So there's a scammer then. I had to explain. She goes, yeah, that was definitely a scammer. It wasn't me. So, but she's like, I do have a question to ask you. How you doing? And I've seen your videos. Okay, that's pretty cool, you know. So I found out yesterday that my stepmom has watched some videos. I don't know if she really knew I had a channel or if that she just saw the videos come up on her feed. But I thought that was pretty cool. And who knows, maybe sometime she'll pop up and say hello. I don't know what her what her name is. I know what her name is, but I don't know if she goes by a different thing. So all right. So no wonder I'm not fasting. I mean, with all this delicious food I'm hearing about, how can anybody be fasting? Just joking. So I had a hankering for pepperoni, and so I went. And last night I went, and I was like, oh, I'll just do the Italian sub, and just do it without the bread. And yes, it's not Lion or anything like that. And I know I want to go back onto Lion again, but obviously for the past couple of days I cheated. Um, and well, not cheated, but it's not a good word. I indulged, embellished. Let's put it that way. And yeah, Joyce is done. Joyce is, hey Aaron, I'm glad to see you. How you doing? Um, I what like I've been, but basically I did the Italian. But like the thing is, the reason why I did the Italian is because I was hankering for some pepperoni, and I forgot that they don't have pepperoni with the Italian sub. So it was like, okay, so I got this, but I didn't actually get what I wanted. So today I got some roast beef and some fresh mozzarella, and I got some pepperoni to go with it. So I just had that right before coming on here, and then got myself water. That's fine, Aaron. I'm just glad you're here. Good. That's good, Rick. Because Milton and I have helped you repair them. Isn't it like that in his contract or something that he doesn't help with leaks? Good again. Oh, that sounds good, Sandy. Yeah, so far I've had four burger patties soaked in bison tallow with half a stick of butter for the burger patties, and the other half for the coffee that I made. And I had some roast beef, had some fresh mozzarella, and I had some pepperoni. And I had a cup of black coffee, and then the water. So, and my sugars are pretty stable. They're at 117 right now. Oh, excuse me. Oh my god. Yeah, I figured that was you asking. What a difference between us poor people and the celebrities. Yeah, I guess so. So I'm gonna put back into the chats. If anybody wants to come on, you're always more than welcome, but not obligated to come on. It's just something I just put out every once in a while because I haven't figured out how to click to the top of the chats. I did once, but then I had to go into, blah, 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 blah. So, give me a second. I'll just keep on doing it. Did I miss any questions or anything like that? I doubt it. And I have Sandy to thank. If I wasn't in Facebook for a couple minutes to check something out, I would never have seen Sandy message me to. Oh, that sounds really good, Sandy. That really does. That sounds wonderful. Um, so it was Sandy that actually reminded me that I had a live going on. So thank you, Sandy, for that. I guess, I guess when you have a lot of things on your mind, you tend to forget things. So, mm. It's always okay for you to message me, Sandy. Of course. Like I said, I wouldn't have known if I didn't get, if you didn't message me. I mean, I couldn't have guaranteed that I would have seen the message, but you rolled the dice and I saw the message, and that was great. Yeah, of course. Mm. So let me see. Um, CB Carmack, hey, eat meat. And you see the little guy there trying to eat the steak, which smart guy. So, question: when I was on with Mitch, was I cutting out a lot? Like, did you guys notice that me cutting out, or yes, CB? How's the stomach? Okay. Wow, 3 times in what, like in 2 hours, 2 3 hours? Okay. Yeah, there was a lot of people on the panel. You're absolutely right about that. But it is possible that it could be something that just I experienced. So I definitely need to figure out how to get higher internet speed. I think that's what the problem is. I'm sure he already knows there, CB. I'm sure he already knows. But I did eat meat, so tell him that too. You know, don't leave everything out. Don't leave certain things out. Yeah, I that's what I thought, Sandy. Yeah, that's what I thought too. Um, I noticed the other day when Aaron was on, I noticed that there was like kind of like a glitch, like kind of like a buffering thing. So um, I thought it was the computer, but then I'm like, you know, but then I thought, no, you know what I think it is? I think it's that I need faster speed. Well, better speed, I should say. I think like my internet is slow. So, like I said earlier on, but a lot of you guys missed it. I tried calling to upgrade it, and according to them, I'm at the top level. So I'm like, well, this is kind of sad because I shouldn't be. If I'm at the top level and have the best internet speed, I should not be cutting out. You know, at least that's how I look at it. So I want to double check and make sure that they're not wrong, and if they're not, then I might have to go to another carrier. Aaron is amazing, and um, I hope she knows that. And so far, I've been pretty lucky with the guests I have. You know, I haven't really had anybody on here yet that people are like, I can't believe you had that person on. I, you know, like, wow. I mean, that's true too. Um, I mean, I shut everything down that I have here. Not down, but you know what I mean. I turned, you know, like I had my, you know, my TV. I made sure that was off. You know, I even closed off like all the tabs I have. Um, so the only thing that was up was the stream itself. Um, hmm. I mean, I even took the Wi-Fi off my phone, so then that way the phone, wasn't connected to the Wi-Fi. I got pretty upset too that she got upset. I have to get on. Why? I don't know. Why? Why do you have to get on? On what? Oh, yeah, I have to do the same thing. I think I'm on page 45 or something like that. Um, I mean, lucky we have a few more days to go, but still, I'm probably pretty high. I just, like, I don't know what I was thinking to even do the coaching course. I mean, I just have such a hard time with that kind of stuff, CB. You don't know. Um, all I can do is just do my best, right? I mean, I do work tomorrow from like 6 to 10, so I'll probably try to get up around 4 so I can take a shower. Um, so I really don't want to go to bed any later than like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock tonight. So I don't think there's anything on tonight that I would care about. Um, yeah, I'm not really sure. Oh, okay. You got a couple of trips this. How far out do you have to go? Yeah. Looks like my sugars are starting to rise again a little bit. They're now at 121. So, wow, 4.5 hours. It's a long trip. I hope you got your traveling music with you and stuff. That's a joke. If you're in a car, then you probably have a car radio, so you can play the radio. Of course, case scenario. So I'm not looking. I'm not looking at YouTube right now. So let me go onto YouTube. Da 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 da. Dum bum dum bum bum. Ba-dee, ba-doo, ba-doo, doo, 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 doo. All right, so let's go. Okay, for some reason it's not letting me in. Okay, okay, never mind. I wanted to see if Oh, hey Lexi, how you doing? Do I happen to look away from the computer screen? Let me see where Alexis Jones, there she is. Hello everyone. So I'll put my thing in the chat again. If anybody wants to come on and see how it does. You know, everybody's welcome. Well, it'd be kind of weird if everybody came on, right? I don't know. I can only do like about, I think, like 8 or something like that. So I'm not really sure if I could have everybody on. But, you know. So Lexi, how did you like the SPG? Right now, Sandy, my sugar is at 122. So it's okay. All right. So Lexi is good. I had an extra large coffee with an extra shot of espresso earlier. So now I'm a little jittery. LOL. Okay. Otherwise, good. Good though. I'll try join later. Right now, I'm at my sister's house. Okay, no problem. I appreciate that you're willing to. That you're willing to. Um, I thought I hid that. Okay. Oh, it's the last message. So when I hit it, that's probably what happened. So that's pretty cool. Okay. What does this do? Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think Carrie has a pretty good group there, Alexi. I do. Um, and I do understand with what you're talking about with the size. Sometimes I think that as much as I like, you know, I think I like the smaller group better. Um, so I kind of like Kilts because Kilts is even smaller. So I totally agree with that. I totally understand that. But it was still good to see you when I saw you there. Okay, so I asked this question before, and I'm just curious on how many people agree. There was somebody in the chats when I was up on the panel that said I look like Adam Sandler. How many people agree that I look like Adam Sandler? Yeah, I haven't. Well, I read BB's, but I don't know I don't know if I read the full thing or if I wrote just something that had portions of that in there. Juliet. I'm yet to read that. I do, like I said, I do have to read the rest of. I'll take a look at my emails and see. So the person thought that isn't really crazy. Maybe an Adam relative. You can pass for that. Okay, thank you, Juliet. I mean, I guess there's worse things to look like than Adam Sandler. And you're in you're in something, Lexi. I hope I can, I've been actually transferring all the material onto these guys here. I guess I should get one just for the coaching. I think I have it on actually this guy, which is like, because I think that's part of the problem too with my internet. It's not just the internet. I think that I'm overloading my computer with all these things I'm downloading, and I just figure I can always have them for later on, and they don't have to take up my, you know. Which might be actually why it's slowing down too, because I still have the book on my computer, because I wanted to finish that up before I removed it. So I'll do that later on. I'll finish the book. I plan on finishing the book today. I only have about 30 pages left to go, so and I'm sure it's not like totally 100%. Okay. Does your sister live far from you, Lexi? No, that's not too bad. And, oh, quite pricey. Maybe I can pass on my 31-year-old daughter. I want to be a grandma. Okay. I'm not sure what that means, Juliet. Oh, you're heading for. Actually, I live right near Eatontown, New Jersey, so that's pretty cool. Oh, okay. In fact, the furniture store I worked at right before my foot issues was in Eatontown, New Jersey. Um, like 2 towns away. It's like where the Monmouth Mall is and all that stuff. Or at least Monmouth Mall's closing down. I guess mostly because of the COVID. It just never reopened. But um, they're turning it into like office buildings or something, like medical buildings or something like that. So I don't mind raw steak. I do like it a little seared on the outside, but I love the inside being raw. Well, that's pretty cool. Did you live in New Jersey for quite a while there, Juliet? And what part of New Jersey did you live, if you did live here? 25 years. And where, if you don't mind me asking, where in New Jersey did you live? Did you live in town? Toms River Marble. Okay. Yeah, I know that too. I grew up actually in Point Pleasant, but I lived in other places too. I actually lived in Maple Shade, and I lived in Trenton, lived in Princeton, and I lived in Point Pleasant again. I lived here, and for the past 15 years, I've lived here um, in Wall Township. I mean, probably the closest that I lived, that you used to live, was Summers and Belmar. Yeah, yeah. We actually share the Belmar zip code. That's how close I am to Belmar. Yeah, I don't know if you know too much about this area, but I live right on Belmar Boulevard. I'm right at the Colfax Plaza. Don't know if you know where that is, but small world, very small world. It's cool. You don't. I broke my tooth, um, my bottom tooth here, so don't break your tooth. It's not pleasant. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I still live here. I'm right. In my apartment right now, Colfax. I live the apartments above the plaza, which hence the candy store and the post office and all the stuff I mentioned sometimes. Yeah, and it's I gotta figure out a way to get it taken care of, Danny. But because I'll be honest with you, I don't really have money to go to a dentist. Um, so I'm gonna see what my insurance is covering, and the only time it really hurts, I mean, it is kind of a little bit of trouble, but the only time it really hurts is when I cough. Believe it or not, somebody's in my tongue rubs right on it. Why is that a thing, Juliet? That you know where I live? There's going to be eventually somebody that knows where I live. Have you actually been to the complex, to the Colfax Plaza? It's funny. So I guess Rick's right. I guess I am moving up in the world because now I got a stalker. So, okay. I haven't, believe it or not, I haven't been to the beach in quite a while. Um, Unfortunately, when you have the foot situation I have, you can't get it wet. So what's the point in going into the river, but into the ocean? Yeah, it's definitely something to get used to. Definitely have to wear. I definitely would have to wear shoes for Point Pleasant, at least I used to, until I go into the ocean. But I grew up in Point Pleasant, but I was pretty close to the beach. I lived with my grandparents on Richfield Drive, and the boardwalk was about a mile and a half, maybe, from my house. I used to walk it every night. Go to work. I would work. I worked at Jenkinson's Boardwalk. Um, I worked in the arcades. I don't know if you remember or not, but uh, Jenkinson's. There used to be right by the. I used to work like as a busboy at the. Yes, CB. I do suffer from lactose intolerance. I used to work for the Tiki bar at Martell's. So I don't know if you remember that or not. You don't remember? Oh, Jenkinson's has been there for years. It's a big story with it and everything. So that I don't want to talk about because it's not something that is a good idea. But no, Jenkinson's has been around for probably as long as the boardwalk's been around. My grandmother actually worked for Jenkinson's. That's how far back it goes. I mean, yeah, I mean, of course, CB. I mean, let's face facts. What can I do? Uh, I can't get him back, right? So I might as well be good about it. So I'm lucky. I remember my kids' names. I call Rachel Talia all the time. Talia is our cat. Okay, well, I mean, at least Talia's connected in some way. My mom used to call me different names, and I had no idea who these people were. You know. Thank you, CB. I appreciate that. At least I think I do. Am I getting busy living, or am I getting busy dying? Yes, I agree with that, Sandy. Hello, Jack. How you doing? I think there might be one. That's why I want to call the clinic tomorrow after I come home from work. I think um, the clinic that I go to. I think they have dental in that. Okay. Well, I hope you have a good. It was good. It's good finding out a little bit about you, Juliet. Thank you. That's that's pretty powerful there, Sandy. Wow. I'm sorry about that. It's never easy when someone, you know, takes their life, especially when you're really close to them. Hey Lisa, it's actually really good to see you. I have to admit, I was a little worried because I saw a comment yesterday from you on Rick's channel um, that really worried me a little bit about you coming on lives and stuff. I'm glad to hear that, Lisa. Because you're a big part of everything. So I definitely know how you feel about that. But you know what though, as it's easy to stay in the sidelines when you're not ever out and about. But I think once you are out and about and people know who you are and people know, it becomes very hard to stay behind. Yeah, I can understand that too. And we want you to be a part of it too, Lisa. And you're always welcome. Yeah, I agree. Oh God, Sandy, I'm so sorry to hear that. I had an uncle that actually was in the war. Well, not in the war, but he was in the Marines. And I think I mentioned him once before. He was my uncle, and he was young. He was only like about 24, like either 24 or 26. I don't remember which. And he he didn't commit suicide, but he did. Well, maybe actually, maybe he might have. Depends on how it's looked at. He pretty much got drunk one day and on beer, and he decides he decides to drive off a cliff. He lived over off the Blue Ridge Mountains in Virginia, Richlands, Virginia, and he just drove off the cliff, and that's pretty much how he passed away. And I mean, I guess you could consider that he tried to commit suicide because, you know, but so I know how it feels to lose someone to an unexpected death like that. So I am so sorry, Sandy. I'm so glad that you were not able to succeed at that, Lisa. You would have definitely been greatly missed. I mean, one thing I learned is she's a very kind person, very kind woman, and I don't think there's enough people like you, and you know, would have been a travesty for all of us. And I'm glad you're not giving up. After all, just like Mike says, life is tough, but so are you. And you have people around you that care about you. And you're always welcome, Lisa. It makes me feel even better when I know that I'm helping. Thank you, Lisa. I appreciate that. Mm. Mm-mm-mm. Just reading in the chat. So I'm not looking at YouTube right now. So I want to make sure that I don't lose anything here. Is But just out of curiosity, who's number one crown? Just for kicks and giggles. Oh, okay. It doesn't matter. I can I can look. Were you on your phone as well, Lisa? You're number 5. Okay, that's funny. Maybe my problem isn't necessarily internet. Maybe it's the computer itself. I mean, I think my picture's a lot better, but maybe my speed is just not up to par. That's cool. You're soaking in the sun. That's actually pretty cool. You're slow in the race. Okay, slow and steady. Yeah, really. Hmm. 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 Yes, beef is what's for dinner. I miss those commercials. Beef is what's for dinner. Yeah, my sugars have crept up again. 130. I might have to take some insulin soon. See there, CB? It's from going to the bathroom that you're slow. And Sandy loves chicken liver. And so he said something in here that I only saw the bottom part of. Let me see. Hold on. Not sure what was. I hate this. Okay, so. Alright, so CB, I have to cut grass in a little bit so I can get it out of the way so I can jump onto Kilt's book. LOL. I hope the Zoom classes get uploaded because I can't make the live Zoom Wednesday. Okay. I mean, I think next. I think at the very least next day, Alia has sends us the replays. So, but I'll be honest with you, CB. Even when I am there, I sort of like the replays. I sort of like to see it again because there might be a question I didn't notice or something like that. So I like to watch them again. Not that I'm able to do that every time, but I just like the idea that I can. No, I get it. She sent a couple in the email, unless she's only sending them to certain, to, you know. I mean, she sent it to me because I told her that I might not be able to make it because I thought I was having a situation, but I ended up making it after all. So, uh, what does your body crave? Does it make the sun? I'm going to just put in the chats one more time. If anybody wants to come on here, you're more than welcome. I love steakums. If not, that's fine. But I'm probably going to be ending the chat soon. I'm kind of finding things hard to concentrate and hard to talk about. So, um, hello, Lisa.
Well, hello. I'm in my sunning
I don't
chair.
know. I don't know. Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Hello.
Hello? Hello? You can't hear
I
me?
can't hear you.
Oh, well, oh, sign language. Sorry you can't hear me. I'm sunning. Bye.
I'm not muted. Hello. You here? Okay. I don't know why I couldn't hear her. I'm sorry, Lisa. I'm very sorry. You're in your sunny chair. Okay. I guess it's just another issue with my computer. I do apologize. Maybe I should go to the old computer. Yeah, it was a little faulty on the film, but I'm so sorry. Yeah, no, I mean, you could hear on my end. I could not hear you. So I'm so sorry. I really am. I felt so bad. I mean, you could try that, but I mean, the thing is if everybody else heard you, I should be able to hear you too. But if you want to try your iPad, I'd love that. But I just, that would have been cool if you said hi from your chair. Again, obviously, it wasn't your end because they heard you up in YouTube land. Okay. That's all you get when you have watermelon. Hmm. So yeah, because now you know you got it out. Rabbit turds. Okay, that's funny. That's gonna be funny until they're not. They're not so funny. Hmm. Okay. Well, I think things are pretty quiet. I don't know if you guys agree or not, but we could try one more time. But I'm a little leery about doing any. You know, we just see audio. Okay, so that's not really doing anything. Let's see advanced settings. I don't see anything there. Um, yeah, so am I, Sandy. Okay, it's weird. Why? Hmm. So you were pretty fascinated by the corn. Okay. Okay, sure. It's a pretty good analogy there, CV. Okay, well, hopefully I'll figure this out before Tuesday. But live, love, heal, and for God's sakes, everybody, eat meat.